Okay, so now today we're solving two-step equations. So yesterday we did one step with rational coefficients. Today we're doing two-step. So it's going to take 2 steps to solve it. Pretty genius name. Okay, so first we have a vocab word right off the bat. It says that in mathematics, properties are statements that are true for any number. So you can fill that out on your vocab sheet. Then we have some properties here. The addition property of equality says that if you add something to both sides, that it remains equal. Which one of these are they adding something? Here they're adding something, but really they actually are taking something away. This one they're adding 5 to both sides. So these two match. Division says we have to divide both sides by the same thing. These ones are dividing by 3. Now it says to multiply both things. This is actually multiplicative inverses there. And subtract the same thing from both sides. So those are some properties that we should be familiar with. I know that you learned them in 7th grade, but just in case, we're going to go back over how to solve two-step equations, which you also did in 7th grade. So a two-step equation contains 2 operations. In the equation, 2x plus 3 equals 7. X is multiplied by 2, which is one of the operations, and then 3 is added. To solve two-step equations, undo each operation in reverse order. So we're going to work PEMDAS, the order of operations, backwards. So we're actually going to add or subtract first and then multiply or divide. You're always still going to the side with a variable. So what's going on with a variable? Well, we got to leave this alone for the first. We're going to add or subtract first. So to undo plus 2, we need to subtract 2. So this is a good way to show your work. Subtract 2 on both sides. The 2 minus 2 becomes 0. 20 minus 2 becomes 18. So then I can bring my equal sign down and I can bring down what's left. Now this is 3 times x, so to undo that I divide by 3. We'll get 1x, or just x, equals 6. Now you could always check your work by taking 3 times 6, which is 18, plus 2, which is 20, so 20 would equal 20. We did it right. On this one, in reverse order, but our variables on the left side, they're adding 5, so we're going to subtract 5. 5 minus 5 is 0. Bring down the 2n, equal sign. Negative 1 minus 5 becomes more negative, negative 6. Now we have 2 times n. To undo that, we're going to divide by 2 on both sides. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so we have 1n, or just n. Negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. We could also double check that by plugging and chugging. So this is what we talked about yesterday. How do we undo fraction coefficients? We either, you could say divide by the fraction, but that's the same as multiply by its reciprocal or multiplicative inverse, whichever one you want to write in there. So here's my variable. Can't touch it yet. Got to get rid of the minus 3. Opposite of minus 3 is the plus 3. Or add 3. Negative 3 plus 3 is 0. Goes away. 25 plus 3 is 28. Equals 1/4 n. The reciprocal of 1/4 is 4. So this would all go away. So 4 times 20 is 80, plus 4 times 8, which is 32. So 112 equals n, or n equals 112. Letter D, same thing. Can't touch that yet because I have a subtract 5, so I need to add 5 to both sides. These is going to go to 0, negative 5 plus 5. 7 plus 5 is 12. Bring my equal sign down. Bring my fraction down. Reciprocal of 2/5, because that's the coefficient, is 5/2. You can rewrite that 12 over 1 if you need to. R is equal to, let's see, 5 and 1, nothing in common. 2 and 12 have a 6 in common. 6 times 5 is 30, over 1 times 1, which is 1. Don't need it. Practicing a few more. Letter F, the variable's on the right-hand side, so just be wary of that. Variables here, we're adding 2, so we need to subtract 2. Those 2 can become 0. Negative 19 minus 2 is actually negative 21, equals negative 3x. Multiplication, so I need to divide by negative 3. This becomes a 1x, or just x. I'm actually going to put that on the left side. Negative 21 divided by negative 3 is positive 7. Letter E, another fraction. So this is a positive 10 or a negative 10. Check the sign out in front. There's no sign out in front, means this is a positive 10. So in order to get rid of it, I need to subtract 10. So these become 0. Now this negative sign is in front of the 2/3. Make sure you bring that negative sign down with the 2/3. 52 minus 10 is 42. Multiply by the inverse. Multiplicative inverse would be negative 3 over 2. Put that 42 over 1 if you want. Cross reduce to just 1p or just p. 2 goes into 42 21 times. 21 times negative 3 is negative 63 over 1, which is just negative 63. All right. Few more kind of goofy looking ones here. So number 3. Again, we have to get rid of this 8. It's a positive 8, so I need to actually subtract 8 from both sides. Now these go to 0. Bring down the negative 3x equals 6. And then divide by negative 3 to get x equals negative 2. Oops. Now this one's kind of goofy. It's kind of complicated looking. So we could throw some parentheses around here. We have a minus 4 over 5 equals 12. So I can't get to that 4. This is one of those cases we're actually going to multiply first because we have to undo the division. We need to get up there. So we're actually going to multiply by 5. So we have a minus 4 equals 12 times 5, which is 60. This is a special case. Subtract 4, we need to add 4 to get rid of the minus 4. There we go. So that one's kind of a special one. Special one. This is going to be a special one. Letter G. N divided by negative 3 minus 2 equals negative 18. Can't get here. Have to undo this. Add 2. N over negative 3 equals negative 18 plus 2 is negative 16. And then to undo divided by negative 3, I need to multiply by negative 3. We get 48 positive. So on this one, it's similar to the other problem where we have to get rid of the divided by 8 first. So we're going to multiply by 8. N plus 3 equals negative 32. Have to undo the plus 3, so subtract 3. N equals negative 35. Special one. One word problem, and then we're done. Cassidy went to the movies with some friends. We don't know how many. The tickets cost $6.50 each, and they spent $17.50 on snacks. The total amount paid was $63. Write an equation and solve to find how many friends Cassidy went with. Well, we know their total, so after the equal sign would be $63. And these numbers, we know they spent $17.50 on snacks, so they spent some amount of money on tickets, depending on how many people there were. So wouldn't that be $6.50 times the amount of tickets or friends, whatever variable you want to use? I'll use F for friends because we're trying to figure out how many friends. Plus they spent $17.50 on snacks. So $6.50 per friend plus $17.50 on snacks, and they spent $63. That looks good. So first we would subtract the $17.50 from both sides. Oh, I don't know. I don't want to think that hard. So 63 minus 17.5, $45.50. Now we divide by the price of the tickets. And we get that she brought 7 friends. That's a lot of friends to pay for. And friends. There we go. All right. You have enemies? Good. That means you stood up for something sometime in your life. Have a great day.